Hi there, it's Beauty Junkie. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm getting into my entire blush collection. I have a variety of textures, cream blushes, powder blushes, some like hybrid products, lip and cheek products. So I want to share, my entire collection with you, give you my thoughts. I am going to apply some blush today and we're going to get into it. This isn't a application or blush technique video by any means. We're just gonna be swatching. I'm gonna show you different textures and colors and just a variety of blushes from different brands. But yeah, we're not really gonna get into where you should place your blush because that's a whole nother thing. So I do want to start out with the perfume of the day. We're doing Perfume Parlor again. This is Black Extreme 0645. And I believe this is the dupe for Noir de Noir or something like that. Has Noir in the name. This is a darker, sexier fragrance. It's, I don't know, like not particularly feminine. It's very brooding and musky. Definitely if you want to categorize fragrances by day or night, I think this one can definitely work. At nighttime, it might be a little bit much. In the daytime, my kind of test if it's day or night is, I'm thinking about, if I'm wearing this perfume in an elevator, which is a very enclosed space, and people were to smell me, would they feel overwhelmed, even with one or two sprays? So that's kind of my test. With Perfume Parlor, these are perfume oils, so they don't last that long. So spray them early in the morning, go for a walk, air it out. You should be good to go by the time you get into your elevator. All right, so I'm looking over here at like all my blushes laid out and I'm just thinking like, what do I start with? I'm gonna start with creams first and then I'm gonna go into powders in kind of the order in which I purchased, if I can remember roughly, and we're gonna do swatches. So let's start with cream. I'm not like a huge fan of creams, and I was really thinking about that today. I was getting ready for this video and putting on my other makeup. I think the challenging part of cream makeup in general is being able to mix creams and powders without like messing with the finish that you're going for. So like I try to leave this small section open. I didn't put any powder on it, but I still wanted to use contour powder and bronzer, and so I did end up kind of powdering this area. I think it will be fine to apply cream products on top, but if you're a real like heavy powder user, you do lots of layers of powder to set for your foundation, I think it can be challenging to incorporate cream products, whether it's bronzer, highlighter, blush, whatever, contour. I just think it's so hard to mix textures for the average Joe. I mean, like, not only do you have to remember, okay, don't powder this area, but it's like, well, am I gonna mess up the foundation underneath because it's not set? These are just things that run through my head as I'm doing my makeup. So the first cream blush, I actually purchased I got all these cream blushes this year, so these are all relatively new. I think the order I got things was the Fenty cream blush in Petal Poppin'. This is the Cheeks Out cream blush. It's like a punchy pink. I think this is one of the safer colors of all the options. And then I got the Chantikai Cheek Chalet. This is a gel cream blush, and it comes in a tube, so this is definitely a little more watery and easier to work with. And then this I got in a Loreal beauty box. This is from Botanique Beauty, sorry. I haven't really used this that much. This is a lip and cheek balm in color Peach Blush. And I thought I had more like cream stuff than this, and I really don't. So this is really it for the blushes. Let's go ahead and swatch the Fenty one, Petal Poppin'. I like this. I don't know that I am in love with the color because it's not, if you like saw my like thumbnail, you can see like all my blushes have sort of a similar tone. I like pink for the most part. Now this is definitely on like a coral pink side, and so maybe that's why I don't like it. I also like, this is a nice traditional cream. I just don't know that I love a traditional cream, to be honest, but the color isn't bad. This one, the Chantikai Cheek Chalet, this isn't Happy, and I'm just gonna put a little bit on my finger. This guy, sorry, a little bit harder to swatch with the gel. I really like this, how this one applies, and you know, you can see it's a bit sheer, but it has some glow to it. And I just think it's so natural and pretty, and you can layer it on. And I just think it's just so effortless. It looks like a lip gloss right now, but I just think it's so pretty. Definitely my favorite of the three creams. And then this guy, ooh, that is really dry. I don't know if this dried out or not. I haven't had it that long. But to me, this looks more like a lip product. It feels more like a lip product than a cheek product because it's a bit stiffer. It drags a little bit more. This one actually looks very coral, a bit orange, which is not really my color. It doesn't appear that way in the pot, which is funny. But yeah, definitely getting orange vibes with that one. But you could see, I'm just gonna try to tap this in a little bit so it's not as shiny, because that's, realistically, it doesn't stay shiny on your face. Looks more like that. Definitely like more of a natural color. I mean, but all of these are going to be blended out, but you can see like the Fenty is a bit of a heavier formula because it's not a gel, and this one certainly is heavy as well. So those are the cream ones that I have. This is the most expensive one, but the nicest formula, and I just think it's really easy to build and doesn't disturb your foundation even though it's the most liquid. Or something that's really stiff that you kind of have to drag across, I think those are a little bit more challenging because you have to work a little harder to blend them out. I did a recent video on some new cream makeup products that I bought recently. I'm just gonna remove this because I'm already running out of real estate. And anyways, with the cream products, I found that they were really liquidy and melty, and I bought a cream highlighter quad from RMS Beauty, which I want to try again today, but just looking, I refrigerated it and then I took it out and I think, oh, maybe it will, you know, not be as melty, but now that I left it out again, it's still really like shiny and wet looking, which I just find to be so odd. You know, my apartment is warm, but not that warm, like I have air conditioning. The Jillian Dempsey lid tint is a little bit not as liquidy as when I first got it, but it's still like, I don't think of the product for me. As far as what do I want to apply to my face before we get into the powders, I do kind of want to layer so you can see like different things. So I'm going to go ahead and put the liquid blush on my face, just because I kind of prepared my skin for cream. Sorry, I am kind of saying what this is interchangeably. It is a gel blush, it's not a liquid. It's not a cream. And that's probably why I like the formula. I wish they had a few more colors. There's only 3 colors. I think I would maybe go for the deeper berry one and this one, but not the other one. So you can see how that just gives a little bit of a flush. I think it's really nice, but of course we're gonna layer, we're gonna do powder on top of it. This is a rough estimate, but I think the next one I purchased is from Jouer. This is the Rose Gold Blush Duo in Marigold and Rose Petal. And this blush is fine. I think this color is good, but this one I don't think was really the shade for me. It just, I don't know if it's the shimmer or it's just a little bit too dark. I'm not really sure why I don't like for it. I don't really reach for it. I think out of all of these, this formula is really dry feeling, by the way. I think out of all of the blushes, I think this is one of the ones I would consider decluttering. I don't know, I'm just not a fan of the tone and the combination of these two together. This is a little dark for me, and I believe this is the Marigold shade and this is the Rose Petal shade. And I think you can certainly mix them up and it looks fine. I don't know, it's just kind of orangey pink or a weird bronzy pink. Just not a fan of these colors together as I thought I would be. Like, I thought I would like it more. I think at the time this was like a really popular blush a couple years ago, but I don't know. I've seen like a few people keep using Jouer in their blushes. I think it used to be one of like their star product. The packaging is cute. I mean, it's a different, there's not a lot of blush duos out there, so I get the concept. I just don't know that this color is right for me. It's also just to the touch, it feels like a really dry formula. So next up, these two were, I don't know if this was purchased first or this one. We're just gonna go with this one. So this is the Tom Ford Skin Illuminating Powder Duo in Incandescent, and this is a highlighter duo, but I use this as a blush. Now I'm not sure if this is supposed to be a blush or not because it's so dark and it's kind of a blush color. That's what I use it for, and I think it's different, and definitely you can see that it has a sheen. So if you don't like your blushes to have that sort of glow, this isn't going to be for you, but I think the color of it is really unique. I'll go ahead and swatch it for you. And this is a big Chalet formula. And you know, it has this grid texture, so it's not like super buttery, but you can see the formula is pretty bold. Now this shade, at swatching it, you wouldn't think that I would like it because it's kind of red, and it really is. But it does have this beautiful sort of finish on top. Now, the shiny sort of finish doesn't last on me all day, so that's the only thing that negative I could say about this blush. I know some of you would think like wow, this color isn't for you, and I think it's just surprising. I'm gonna go ahead and put this on my cheeks so you guys can see it, because I don't know that many people are aware of this blush. And I'm just using the Wayne Goss number 10. And it just gives you a little bit of glow. I don't know if you can sort of see that shine there. Now, as I said, like if you don't like shine on your cheeks, you know, below your highlighter, it's probably not going to be for you. But I will say, like, the shine, if you touch your face at all, the shine doesn't last. So I kind of have a lot of blush on right now. But I do think this is a pretty color. It is surprising. I like how it's different. It has a nice sheen to it. I'm just gonna blend this out a little bit. It's a very blush focused day for sure, but I still want to look a little balanced. That might have to be it for the blush. I thought I was going to get away with doing a third blush, but I don't think so. The next one we have here is the Hourglass Blush Ambient Lighting Blush in Mood Exposure. Now this one is not new or anything like that. I think I saw a YouTuber that like really liked this blush and kept buying it, so I was like, oh, I don't have any Hourglass blush, let me try it. Now this one like is a mix of like ambient lighting powder plus darker tones, so I don't know how it's gonna swatch, but it's kind of a plummy shade and it is really flattering, I think probably for a lot of people. And you can see like, you can of course build this up, but it's not like super bold right away. I just think it's really flattering and just a different tone than my other blushes for sure. This is the mini travel size. You know, not a lot of product in here. They do make a larger size, but since I just wanted to try it and I don't go through blushes that quickly, I actually think this is the perfect size. So I think I got these somewhere around the same time. This one might have been first. The Chantikai blush. This is the Butterfly Cheek Shade in Bliss. This is blush series, has different shades and have different animals featured, insects featured in the blushes, and if you buy these, part of the money goes towards charity for these animals. So this is the Butterfly one, and I think it's a really nice sort of toned down pink. It's not a bright pink, it's just a nice flattering sort of shade there, and it's not like, it did have like a overspray over this when I first bought it, and of course now it's gone. I like this blush. I just think, I don't know if it's the shade that's like unremarkable. I think it's a pretty tone, but I don't think I would buy this again. First of all, this is really small. If you think about like travel size and whatnot, well, this one's actually bigger than the Hourglass. It has 2.5 grams versus 1.3, so you are getting more. It just looks so small, right? They look like very comparable sizes, but if we look at like, I don't know, let's look at the Chanel one. There's 6 grams of product in here versus 2.5. You're getting a lot less, and I think the Chanel one is around the same price, or maybe a little bit more, but still, like, I'm just a little disappointed in how much you get, but I do think it's definitely pretty. I would have maybe preferred it to be a little rosier, pinker than what it is, but it's, you know, it's a different tone. You can see it kind of matches with my color family going on here. I think what's I'm discovering about like my collection so far is that I'm really attracted to the same sort of tones for the most part. So next one, which is a really beautiful one, and this is a new one for me from the summer. This is the Jill Stewart. I believe it's like a blush bouquet, and this is number 2, Baby Lilac, and they have many different bouquets. It's a little hard to choose, but I thought this one would be more of a brighter pink, which you can see, like, this is very different from my blush collection, so that's one of the reasons I got this color. It's not like the safest color I could have got, but I thought it was cool. It's different. The only thing is, like, this is very pigmented, especially if you swirl and you get into here, like, it's very pink. So you got to be a little bit light-handed, a little bit delicate. This is very cute. I thought it would be a little bit bigger, but this is like a normal compact size. This is an expensive bouquet, but it's really cute packaging. It's really pretty, and I think if you like having like a customized effect with your blush, you like changing it up a little bit, I think these are a really good idea. So it's going to be a little hard to like swatch every shade of this. So I'm going to do my best to kind of swirl, and we'll see how that goes. I'm just kind of going to do this. See, you can see the tone is very different than my other blushes. And I think with my next blush purchase, I'm gonna try to get out of this zone that I have so many of. But you know, I'm generally safe with my blush colors. I don't go too crazy, and this is probably my craziest one, but I think it's pretty. I used to have a NARS really bright pink blush back in the day, and it reminds me of that, this one. But I think it's really pretty. Again, you're gonna wanna use a light hand. Don't wanna use too much of this guy. You can add some white on top of it, sheer it out. But this is really pretty. And then last but not least, I have a new Chanel blush. This is the only Chanel blush that I have. I think there wasn't a lot of shade colors where I bought it from, Violet Gray. I think this kind of goes in my blush family. This is Rose Bronze, number 2. And I like the shade. I don't know. I wish I could like see all of them in person. I don't know that I would have chose this one if I saw it in person. But it's kind of a rose bronze. I think the name really fits. It's that brownie pink. I think my skin tone is so light that while it has a pretty sheen to it, I think it's really gorgeous, and I think looks really well with fall colors, or works really well with fall colors. And I like enjoyed it as an eyeshadow as well. I think it's so similar to all the ones I already have. And I don't know if you guys do this as well, like you just buy a ton of the same kind of color everything. I do think it has, I don't know if the camera can really pick it up that well, it does have a nice sheen and shift to it that like these guys you can't see as well. The Tom Ford, you can see that sheen, but otherwise this is probably the most dramatic sheen besides the Tom Ford. It's really, really pretty. I just wish I probably got something either lighter or pinker or just different than these like brownie, peachy pink tones. And I'm glad I did this video and I'm going through all of this, so I realized like, hey, stop buying the same color. Cause you know, it's redundant and makes my cheeks look the same in for every look, even though I'm sure this color doesn't really go with every look because it's kind of warm, right? It's kind of warm. This is cooler, but I don't have a lot of other options. I do have one more blush that I just found in my collection after I actually finished filming this video, so I'm adding it in here. This is the NYX Sweet Cheeks, and this is the creamy powder blush in Rose and Play. And I probably forgot about it because even though I bought it this summer, because I'm not really a huge fan of the color and how shiny it is. I don't think I would mind the color, but this is one of those like hybrid glowy blushes that's just way too glowy. Like this looks like a shimmery eyeshadow, and maybe that's what I should use it for, but just the tone and amount of shine, way too much. It's pigmented, like you're gonna get a lot of color on your cheeks, I'm not sure that's like a look that most people want to go for. So another blush, sorry I didn't include it with all the other ones. This is definitely a different tone than what I have in the rest of my collection, but I don't really recommend it. So this is the Sweet Cheeks. So I'm glad I went through all of these with you all. I do want to put on my RMS Beauty Living Luminizer Quad just to tap on some highlighter. You can see the shine on here. It's still really melty looking, which is disappointing. Like, I don't know, I think I'm gonna have to always keep this in the fridge so it doesn't melt. But it's very sticky. I don't know if you guys have this quad, if you had similar issues. Ew. This is not looking so, I don't know if you can tell, it just looks like it's sticking to my texture and just not tapping out super well with my fingers. I mean, it doesn't look bad. I'm using this shade right here, like the brightest, whitest one. I go a little bit over it with like the rose color. Yeah, I think these are just really goopy and sticky. You can see how like they kind of look like lip gloss texture, which is great for like editorial, but for everyday, like I think a few of you would have problems with this breaking down your foundation a little bit and just sticking kind of patchy. I'm sure it looks fine, right? But I just don't like the way it applies, and I'm worried what's gonna happen as I wear it. Like, I want to set it with powder almost. Actually, I don't think that would be a bad idea to put like powder over it just for like insurance purposes, but that would be a lot of highlight because this is a pretty bright liquid highlighter, especially in person. So it's not bad, like it's still tacky though, like it's not drying down. I'm looking at this Jillian Dempsey lid tint again, another cream product that was just really melty on me, and again I just think it just does. I put it in the fridge, I took it out, I'm still getting that texture, so I'm not sure. Like, it's a texture that's not gonna dry down. It didn't dry down when I first got it, and when I applied it, it just was very goopy, and I'm still feeling that texture again, and I don't think it's gonna show up any better in my eyes today than when it did the first time. Yikes. So not so great of cream product purchases. I kind of wanted to do like a whole video on cream products just because they've been so popular as of late. I think they're really great, especially if you're doing that no makeup look that's so popular. I think for the everyday person, they're easy to apply for the most part, but if you do like using different textures like powders, liquid foundation, it can be a little bit trickier to apply and not as fast and goof proof as you may think. Now, if the product's really formulated really well, like the Cheek Chalet, I mean, nothing was disturbed, didn't have any issues. But if you're a creamy person or if you're like an oily person that wants to get into cream products, I think it's more challenging. Now, if you're dry, you don't necessarily use powder, you're not having to combine textures, I think it's way easier. Like, you can do everything cream, you don't have to set your face, you don't have to worry about some areas being super shiny. I think it's easier, but if you're oily, more of a challenge. But yeah, I could do a whole video on using cream products. It's just not something I normally do in my routine. So, and I don't have tons of cream stuff to work with, especially like eyeshadow. I mean, I have 3 cream blushes and that's it. I don't have liquid bronzer really. I have some liquid highlighters and I have, you know, liquid foundation, but other than that, like, I don't have liquid bronzer, I don't have or cream contour really, and I just haven't had luck with cream contour in the past, so it's not something I would go out and buy to do a video. So I don't know, I'm like very conflicted on the whole cream movement. I don't know how you guys feel about it. If you love it, you swear by it. If you have the skin type for it, that's totally great. Anyways, sorry I got a little off topic. I like blushes a lot. I do feel like for me, application wise, I tend to go too far forward and I need to remember to like take it back a little bit, just because I feel like it's a little bit more youthful to have it back here instead of like way in here. Especially I get a little shiny right here. I have more pores are more noticeable. So I just need to take it back just a little bit. But I think blush is fun. I went a long time without getting any new blush and I got a lot this year. So I think I'm kind of set, but I have realized that I need to expand my color options for sure. As far as my favorites from what I have in my collection, liquid cream, hands down, Chantikai, Chalet, and Happy. Powder, harder to choose. Out of all of them that I really like in color, I'd say the Tom Ford is most unique. The Skin Illuminating Powder Duo. Not a typical sort of cheek color or shine. I do like the sheen of the Chanel. I do wish I had another color. I am tempted to get another Jill Stewart just because I like the customization of this sort of palette. But I think overall, like, the safest bet if I had to recommend a blush would probably be the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush in Mood Exposure, which I believe is this one. You know, if you like this sort of like range of shades, I think all of them work. It's just a matter of preference and trying them out. I mean, you really can't go too wrong with blush, besides like over applying or like putting a large circle right here and not blending it out. Otherwise, I think whatever you want to do is good. Alright guys, let me know if you have any questions on any of these shades. If you have any suggestions of blush for me, please let me know. Any shade suggestions, brand suggestions, formulations, textures, please comment below. Thanks so much for watching. Please click like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.